Good afternoon and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here today with Trina and Rich, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is Trina's ability to understand and respond to her on and some off-leash obedience commands. The corrections and the motivations that we give the dogs when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Rich is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of the leash folded neatly in his right hand. That leaves his left hand free to give any correction that's needed, and the only correction that we give is a tug and release on the training collar, and that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Now, as we've chatted about on the phone many times, there's different types of training equipment that we're going to be using for different skills, and Rich will be going over the proper usage of all your training equipment during your follow-up training session tomorrow. Now, Trina is sitting very nicely at Rich's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done, and the first exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is heeling. Heeling is proper leash walking without pulling you, without dragging you, and walking at your pace, and the command is Trina, heel. Now at this point, Trina has a job to do, and that is to match pace with you. Not forging ahead for sure, not lagging behind, and we don't want her to drop her head. Each time that you stop your feet, she should sit automatically without being told to wait for her next command. She should be more focused on you than she is on everything that's going on around her. And we've had her over to CVS and out in public. She's done very, very well with that. She has not been spooky or skittish. Has watched her trainer and has done a great job staying right with him and ignoring the distractions. Very nicely done. The next command that we're going to demonstrate is the sit-stay. The stay is a hand and a voice command, and because it is a stationary exercise, it is a one-word command. Rich dropped her leash and has walked all the way away from her. Now she's going to lay down on the sit, and that's not the worst thing. I'd rather her lay down on the sit than get up and run around on the sit. And in real life situations, laying down on a sit when you're out in public isn't the worst thing. Whenever she makes a mistake though, we go back to holding the leash to make sure that she does the whole command all the way through the way it's been taught. When Rich returns back to her, he returns counterclockwise. She remains seated until he gets back to her shoulders. He gives her a pat for praise, and they're going to take off heeling again. And if you notice, if Rich slows his pace, so John, I know that you're not, real fast on your feet. If he slows his pace, she should do the same. She should not be pulling you, dragging you. She should be right next to you and focused on you. If you turn, she should turn. It should be all about where you're going, not where Trina wants to go. Nice automatic sit. Rich leaves her again in a stay. And these are things that you can practice right in your house. Don't make it difficult. Your house manners is one of the things that you're having problems with. Her chewing on your arms, the puppy stuff. So practice these commands right in your house. This time Rich will call her out of this, and this is the recall, or the come on command. And she's to come and she's to sit. So no more jumping on anybody. And then Rich heels her out of that. And if you throw in some turns, it keeps her focused. Walking in a straight line sometimes gets boring, so throwing in right turns, left turns, about turns keeps her looking up at you. And Rose, you should probably practice with her too, because this occupies her mind and gives her something to do, a job. Rich will call her out of that again. Now if she doesn't sit, Rich tells her no, sit, and gives her that little tug that we were talking about. And you have your other training collar that we can also use. Now I know that she knew some, if not all, of these commands, but they're much sharper. She's much more focused. The next command that we're going to demonstrate is the down from a heel position. So with her seated at your left, left open palm straight down toward the ground, and the one-word command to down and stay. Practice your long down stay for upwards of 5 minutes. Because attention span is very important with these adolescent puppies. When Rich returns back to her, he will walk all the way around her just as he did on the sit stay, returning back to her shoulders, and when he gets back to her shoulders, he stops. Picks up her leash, and they take off heeling again.
Down, stay, now.
And don't be afraid to get that no command out of your mouth. If you see her starting to make a mistake, the first word out of your mouth is no, and then you repeat your command. Rich calls her in. Now, if she's not sitting on her recall, make sure that you give her a little correction and remind her. Dogs are like kids. When you turn on the camera, they act out. And she knows this very, very well. And the next command that we're going to demonstrate for you is her down from a distance. So with her seated at your left, you take your left open palm and tell her to stay.
Stay.
You walk out to the end of your leash and you turn to face her. This is the only time that we use our right hand to give the command.
Down.
You drop her into a down. Now she's feeling frisky. You can see the difference. At first she was a little nervous about the camera, and now she's being a little fresh. Now we've demonstrated for you Trina's formal obedience commands. I know you'll have a ton of questions for Rich tomorrow. He will be able to answer every one of them, and you can practice with your other training equipment that you've purchased at home. We have enjoyed having Trina. She can be a little challenging, but she has come a very long way, and we're very proud of her, and we look forward to her being united with you. We want to thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company, and we will see you tomorrow.